In this video, we'll be looking at right to recall. The context is that Haryana Assembly passed Haryana Panchayati Raj Second Amendment Bill 2020, which provides the right to recall members of Panchayati Raj institutions. So we will see what right to recall is. So, right to recall is a process whereby the electorate has the power to remove the elected officials before the expiry of their term. It is an example of instrument of direct democracy. So you elect a representative of the Panchayat and you do not find his work or her work really trustworthy. So in that case, if there is a problem, if there is corruption, or if he is not doing his duty, you can recall them. So that is what this right is given. And then the bill allows the recall of village sarpanchas and members of the block level and district level panchayats if they fail to perform. Alright. But in order to recall, firstly 50% members of a ward or Gram Sabha have to give in writing and that they want to initiate the proceedings. So they have to first, 50% members of a ward or Gram Sabha have to first give a writing, and only after that is accepted that this will be followed by a secret ballot. So in this case, in secret ballot, in recalling, in that case, 2/3 members should be voting against them. Only if these two criteria are fulfilled. That first 50% members of ward or Gram Sabha have to give in writing, and after that, if it's in ward, then ward, or if it's in Gram Sabha, in that case, after that, it is coming to the secret ballot where the recall is actually going to happen, and in that case 2/3 members voting the 2/3 members is required to vote against. Only then recall will happen. Now we have said that recall is a part of direct democracy, so we need to see what direct democracy is. So in direct democracy, what we have is no representatives. The people are directly going to make all the decisions. So all adult population remaining present in the form of assembly takes part in decision making and exercise of power. It does not delegate its power to any other person or representative. So when was this practiced? In ancient Greek city-states, they had direct democracy. In modern times, only some cantons of Switzerland have such direct popular assembly known as Lands Gemeinde. So in modern democracies, if you look in modern national states, we have a huge population, and it's not practically possible for people to exactly do direct democracy, and that's why we have representatives now. So, but still we have some tools of direct democracy in many countries. One example is referendum. Now you might be very familiar with Brexit, right? So Brexit, the people made that decision. So a voting was held, and a referendum was held, and people voted to make that decision whether the UK should exit or not from the European Union. So that is referendum. So referring some important issue, policy or decision to the people. So for example, like amendment of the constitution or something, in that case referendum is used. And another is initiative. It means that people of certain portion of the citizenry can take initiative to get certain law of its choice passed. So if the people want certain laws to be passed, in that case people can use this tool. They can use this tool by sending the proposal to the legislative, which may enact it on usual lines. So with this tool, people are sending a request. People are sending a guideline, to the request to the parliament that they should legislature that they should enact the law. So they may enact it. Another is recall, what we have just explained before. Like if your representatives, if the people are thinking that representative is not doing the work or is untrustworthy, in that case this device can be used, and people of constituency by their majority can ask the legislature to send back the representatives and thus cancel his membership. Many states of the United States empower the people to do so. Next is plebiscite. So it indicates that the people are directly consulted on questions of political importance. So it is a little similar to referendum. Now, benefits of right to recall. What are the benefits that we have because of right to recall, because of this right? First, it is going to ensure greater accountability in the political system, as the electorate retains control over those legislatures who are underperforming or are misusing their office for the selfish gains. So corrupted politicians, if they are in their office and they are not doing the work, this tool can be used in order to call them back. So people will have the fear, representatives will have the fear that anytime my position can be gone. So in that case, it can be, the such situation can be prevented, right? Now, lack of competence and ethics in representatives call for a mechanism which vests in people the control over such unworthy representatives who have failed to secure the best interest of the electorate. It's the same thing. Now, check corruption as well as the criminalization of politics by deterring candidates from spending crores of money in campaign for the elections, because they will always have the fear of being recalled. Now, very rich and powerful people, if they want to, participate in the election, what are they going to do? They are going to put a lot of money, right? So when people have this power of recall with them, so such people who want to get into the election by spending a lot of money, they are not going to invest in that. Why? Because they will have the fear that if recall is initiated, they will have to go back and lose their membership. So in that case, this will act as a deterrent. Now, logic and justice, as it will provide an option to correct wrong decisions without having to wait for the next 5 years. Yes, we do not have to carry this government again for the next 5 years. If they are not really working, they are not efficient, we can call them back. So that is another advantage. Now, what about the limitations? Limitations of recall. Destabilize the government. So see, now we elect our representatives and they are working. Now, because of some misconception or anything or unpopular opinions, because of them having unpopular ideologies, maybe if they are called back and this happens again, so if it is happening again and again, what will happen? Might lead to destabilization, where there is discontent, people will start recalling every time, and there's no stable government in the country. So what will happen? It will affect the economy. It will affect, elections has to be conducted again and again. It will affect the economy. It might endanger your security of the nation. Anything can happen. Another is election fatigue. So by recalling, rejecting, people might not turn out for the election. Candidates having another election again, and people might not turn out. So that's another concern. Now, political tool, it could be misused by special interest group with more power and a lot of money. It could be those special interest group might misuse this recall power, and genuine politicians may become victims of this power. Now, independence of representatives. Now, these representatives might not actually speak their mind out. Alright, maybe they have some kind of unpopular stance, but they might not speak their mind out, and they might resort to populist ones in order to secure their position. So, they might not use their own judgment. Alright. Now, viability of the process. Now, it would require a minimum percentage of the electorate to sign the petition for effecting a recall. Now, to look into those matters, whether this signing has been done in a proper way, was it authentic, or verification is there, all these things will require a lot of viability. Like this might not be viable. Now, increased expenditure. Now, conducting election and again to recall the person and conducting election again, it's going to take a lot of expenditure, a lot of man work, a lot of security forces has to be moved here and there, and so it's going to take a toll on the expenditure, like take a toll on our. We will have to spend a lot of money on that. Now, what is the way forward? What can we do? Now, enhancing political awareness. So main focus should be on enhancing the political awareness of the masses by various means possible, and on ensuring a better turnout of voters in the elections respectively. So if voters are not turning out, this won't be possible. Proper scrutiny. A recall should be carried only after conducting proper judicial scrutiny, and certain specific grounds should be there, and not a vague or ambiguous grounds. Now, what will this do? So with a proper judicial scrutiny, we can make sure that they are not being drawn out because of ambiguous grounds, vague grounds. So with proper scrutiny, the recall will have a proper meaning. Now, strong deterrence. Now, recall representative must be debarred from contesting any other election, because once he or she is recalled, we know that that person might not be a very suited person for that position. So in that case, this kind of incidents can be avoided if we are not allowing them. We are debarring them from contesting from the by-election held thereafter. Otherwise, all the money, manpower, time, etc. in conducting the recall would go in vain. Now, strengthening existence mechanism. There are already in existence various neglected pre-election measures which aim to ensure accountability, such as provision relating to disqualification and expulsion of members and the existing vigilance bodies to check corruption, etc. By strengthening those already existing regulations that we have, we can avoid such a situation by not getting more people who are not really interested in the people's welfare. We know that in the present situation we are having a lot of representatives who have criminal records. So by strengthening the already existing regulations, all these things like vigilance, all these things like other regulation for disqualification and all, we can avoid such a situation. So by that is one way how we can reduce this. So I'll conclude with that. Thank you.